Can you now?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay.
So
Then
I
let's go
hope
ahead.
everyone are good in health and everything is facing how. Niman how we'll talk about the MATLAB from the schedule. And the first class is about the array management in MATLAB, right? So that's why I will not talk about the basic of MATLAB. But if you are interested in it, you'll find my lecture on YouTube. So you can learn from there. But we'll talk about the array management in MATLAB now. So this is a very basic command in MATLAB. CLC means if you want to clean the command window, then we will type CLC. Then clear for the workspace. You can see from there, these are workspace. So whatever you run, your data will be there. Okay. So if you want to clear your memory, you can use the clear. But if you want to close some windows, like you have opened some files or like windows, then you can close all. Okay. Then you can start from the beginning. So we can run this, just select and evaluate. Okay. Then we want to open the only numeric data. So by default, if you use the Excel read, you can open the Excel file. Okay. Like I have already sent the Excel file iris.xls. So by default, it will open a numeric data. Just run and see. So can you see this file? Please respond. If you respond, then okay, I assume you are in the class. Otherwise, I think I'm alone. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes,
if
we
you
see, sir.
double click on it, you can double click on it. You can see the data, but there is no header. But if you open the iris.xl, I already sent. Okay. So if you see, there are 4 variables in this data set. Okay. So these are machine learning data. So there is sepal length, like 3 varieties of flowers. We want this for machine learning data for classification. So setosa, versicolor, and virginica, 3 flowers. These are variety. Every variety has 4 characteristics like length, width, then petal length, petal width. Okay, these are biological data. So these are data. Whatever the data, you can open your temperature, rainfall, whatever from the business, any data. Okay, we don't care about the field of the data. So these are data we open, but it just open the numeric value. There is no header, etc., etc. We can't see. Okay. So by this way, we know this is the first column is sepal length, and second column is sepal width, and the third column is petal length and petal width. Okay, and fifth is variety, but we can't see from there because by default it's open the numeric. But in fifth column it should have the variety, but you can open. So what is the solution? We'll learn more. Okay. So if you want to open both numeric and text data, first, what you can do, you can use the square bracket. Like this is called the indexing operator, okay, in Python. So these are square bracket you can use. So here's the iris data and the variety, okay. First is numeric, then the string. You already know the numeric and string. Okay, numeric and numeric. String means something character. Okay, in data science or computer science. So in a computer science, string means something character. Okay, the characteristic. Okay, so first one is numeric, then second is text. So Excel is same way. We can open and you can see the data file. Okay. So here iris data is the numeric. but we can see the variety, but as a cell file. Cell, like you see the use a curly bracket, you can see the curly bracket. So in MATLAB, if you use the curly bracket, it will be a cell array, like column 5, Setosha, Barsinica, and Barsicolor. Okay, 3 varieties. We can see the text or the string. But I'm also not satisfied with this. I want the numeric and the string together. So how to do that? Then we can also open the numeric text and raw data, okay, and see. So first numeric is a numeric, then text is a text file, 151 into 5 cell. Then what is the raw data? You can open and see. So in a raw data, you can see both there is numeric and a string. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, it can be seen.
So by this
Can
way,
everyone see?
yeah, now I am satisfied. Okay, now I'm satisfied. I have both numeric and string, like what I have in Excel. Anyway, so I am showing you a different way. What do you need? You can just use. Okay, it's up to you. Now, another way we can also open. So how to open that? We can run this code. I want to clean the memory. Okay. Now we have another function in MATLAB, read table. So by using read table, we can also open the data. So run it and see. Yeah. It will give you warning because it's open like a table, but our data type was different, but they make like a MATLAB variable. Okay, don't worry. This is like just a warning. But by this way, you have the both numeric and string. So like a table. Okay, like a table. So read table, we can open this. We can also open the CSV file. Now we can also open the CSV file. Same way, we have the same data. We can also open the text file. Sorry, I didn't send the text file. I did the text. Yeah. Even if you have a data on your text file, even you can open. Okay. Any data you can just open. Okay. Even you can open the text file using the read table. Okay. So these are the ways to open your data on MATLAB. Okay. Now we want to define the variable, like from table Excel, open this file and see. Okay, we don't want to see the warning, so CLC. Anyway, so now we have a sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width. Then we have a variety. Every variety has 4 characteristics. Okay, with the characteristics in machine learning we classify, but now in MATLAB we will learn how to manage the array, how to access the data. Okay, how to handle the data. These are purpose. Okay, you can use a different data. It's up to you. It's not a big deal. Now in table Excel, we can use a dot, okay, to access the sepal length, because we have the sepal length, sepal width, petal length. So this is a header, okay? We can call them, like in Python, we use a dot to call a function. So table Excel dot sepal length. We can open sepal length. We can also use the sepal width. So you don't need to write manually. You can use dot, then you just type sepal, then use tab. When you use the tab, like you will find the tab key on your keyboard, like just up the caps lock. Can you see in the key? just off of the caps lock, you will find the tab. So you just type one or three letters, then you just type the tab. Then it will give you the option, because we have the sepal length and sepal width. So you want to open the sepal length, just select and just enter. Are we together? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. In the same way, we can open the sepal width. Okay, we can define the variable. We can access. So now we can see the sepal length 150 and above. So we have opened the sepal length and sepal width. Okay. Now see the sepal length value. We have a floating data. Like after 5, like integer, we have after decimal, we have some floating point, right? Like this is not the integer data. But if you want to round, so how to do that? If you want to round, then there is a function round. Okay, so round to nearest decimal or integer. Then if you use function round, then you see there is no decimal point. Okay, we made it integer. So these are round function in MATLAB. Okay. Now, if we want to sort, like array sorting, what is the sorting? Like we can arrange our array like descending order or ascending order. Okay, but by default ascending order. So like biggest to smallest. Okay, but descending order like lowest to maximum. So we can sort, by default is ascending order, but if we want to sort our array using descent, like descending manner, so we can just use a string like single quotation, then we can write the descent. So you can write, so I define as a Z and Z1, okay? So in Z you see, so ascending order, so smallest to largest, okay, ascending order. And descending order, it should be the largest to smallest. Okay. So by this way, you can sort your array. Okay. We can also manipulate the array. So how to manage that? We have the sepal length. You see the data. You have a sepal length. Now, I want to make 0. Okay. Set element in third row to 0 or 1 or none. Okay. None means like it's a missing value. Okay. We want to replace which row? Third row and whole column. Okay. Make 0. You can see your data. In third row, what is the value? 4570, right? Now, if we want to replace 4570 to 0, how to do that? So we have the variable sepal length, then we can use the parentheses. In parentheses, always matrix like row and column. Okay, so first one is row and second is column. So in third row, and we just type the whole row we want to take, but third row we want to make replace 0. Run and see. Now there is no 4.70. Can you remember? There was a value 4.70, but there is now 0. Even we can make 1. Replace 1. You see the replace 1. Even we can make none. There is a missing value. Okay. So you can manipulate whatever you want. You can change. You can replace your data. Okay. If you need something to do. Even we can reverse the order of our data. So how to do that? We define from sepal length, we want to reverse our data. You can see the data of sepal length. If we want to reverse our data, that means from 150 to 1, we want to reverse. So how to do that? So from 150 to negative 1 means, so 150 to 1, okay? That means a reverse. But what is it? Negative 1 means one step. The increment is one step, but is from below. Okay? Reverse, like reverse. It will not start from first row or first element. It will start from the last row. Okay, this is a reverse. Even we can use the end, like 150. Okay, our data last row is 150. But if we want to access, like I don't want to count my n value, so we can use the end function in MATLAB. This is a built-in function, end, that means the length of 150. Then negative increment till 1. So let's run and see. See the A, you see started from 5.90. Can you see? Then 6.2. So it's from last to first. And first value was 5.1. Got it?
Can you repeat, please?
If you want to repeat your array, okay, but you want to reorder as a reverse order, you know the reverse order, you want to reverse the data. The real data is like sepal length. The starting value is 5.10, then 4.90, but you want to reverse. You want to start from last value, then it will reverse the order. 5.9, then like the first row, 150 will be first row, 149 will be second row, 148 will be third row, even to reverse.
Yeah.
A. The last value was 5.90. Now it started from first row. The 6.20 was in the second, like 149. Now it's the second row. Okay, just reverse the order if you need it. You can reverse.
Please.
Hello.
150. It's the total row number.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
In matrix,
if we want to mention n, what will?
No, n means the n. Like now we can see our end row is 150, right? In the one column.
End.
But if you use end, you don't have to count the what is the length of your data. It can be 1,000. It can be 10,000. You don't have to count.
Sound is not clear.
Sorry.
Sound is not clear.
Someone.
Sound is not clear.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, you can be heard. Who is the question asking? Hello. Your voice is not clear, please.
Mine is not clear.
No, yours is clear. The one who is speaking.
Oh, because he is joining from Bangladesh. So in
see.
Yeah, 10
Maybe you can type your question in the chat.
Okay,
later.
I will upload this video on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I assume he joined from the Bangladesh. So in Bangladesh, 10 meaning is not good.
Yes, Jalal, wait, Jalal.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you have questions, you can chat it in the chat board. Then later we can read it and answer it to you. Continue, Jalal. Continue.
Okay. So Do you know the appending or concatenation? Do you know the append, the word, the append or concate? Do you know that appending or concatenation? Anybody? Do you know that? Okay. In every programming language, like in computer science, we use append or concate. That means we want to just add 2 arrays or 3 arrays. Okay. If we have the more than 1 array, you can add them. Okay. Like in Python, use the append function. In the same way, you can do like append or concate the 2 arrays or 3 arrays or 4 arrays together, right? So here, like we have 2 arrays. 2 arrays, one is sepal length. Now sepal length and another was sepal width, okay? Now we define the variable as like append, sepal length and width. So how to do that? We have 2 separate array. One is sepal length, one is sepal width. Both are the same sizes, like 150, like the 1 column and 150 rows, okay? Now we want to append together. So we can use the indexing operator like square bracket to append, okay? Then run and then see. You see? So how about when you use, like even you can use comma, what will be the difference? Even we can like, you see, even we can append in the same thing, you can use a comma or you can use the space. But what I did here, you can append the whole array, or if you want to just append some of the rows or column, you can define in the parentheses. Like here I said, you just append 1 to 3rd row and whole column. The same way 1 to 3rd row and column. That's why you see we have only 3rd rows. But here we said we don't want to append certain rows or column. We didn't define. So it took the whole array. Okay, ma? Buting budong.
Yeah. Is it going well?
Okay, so by this way we can append our array. Now, like these are 2 column and 150 rows, right? Sometimes we need to arrange our data as a 1 column. Like say for example, if you want to make a correlation or if you want to analyze the correlation, okay? So then we have only 1 X and Y like this, isn't it? If I say the Pearson correlation, only 1 X and Y, isn't it? In that case, like you have many columns, like 2, 3, 4, but you want to make a 1 column only. Did you get it? Like you have 5 columns of data, but you just want to make 1 column. So the first column, then the second column will be underneath of this here. Then when the another column is finished, will be underneath of the column. Did you get it? So how to do that? Now, in MATLAB, we can stress. So we can stress this array. We have 150 rows and 2 columns. So you can stress into a column vector, like only one column vector, like only one array. Okay. In that case, you can use the parenthesis and use a colon. When you use a colon, MATLAB will understand you want to stretch your data and make a column vector. Okay. So if you run this, you can see, now see D into 300. Because we had two columns, right? And how many rows? 150. So it made how many rows now? 300. Did you get it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now, if you want to reshape, we had 150 and two columns, right? And now we made 300 rows and one column. But if we want to reshape means now we need to make your data, you need to like set your data like 150 rows and two columns. Like now you want to arrange your data. So how to do that? Also, for example, you have monthly data. Okay, you have monthly data. So if you have the monthly data, so per year, how many months should you have? 12 months, isn't it?
12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have the 30 years of data, now you want to reshape the monthly. Like first column is, like you have the data, monthly data in 30 years, but one column. Okay. Now you want to make 12 column. That means every month, like January should be 1 to 30 years. February 1 to 30 years. March 1 to 30 years till December. So how to do that? Then in that case, we can reshape our data. So how many columns? 12. Then row will be 30. Did you get it? So by this way now, we can reshape our data. So how many rows do you need? We can use the reshape function in MATLAB. Then which data do you want to reshape, or which array do you want to reshape is D, isn't it? Then use a comma. Then in the square bracket, you can first give the row. How many rows? We want to make it
30.
100 and no. That was another example. Now we are talking in that example. Okay, in this example. So now we have 150 rows and we have two columns. Like we want to make two columns. Like we want to reshape into like this one. So now check the E is now 2. Did you get it? D was 300 rows, one column. Now we made 150 and two column. Over? Yeah, Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Ibrahim, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Jalal, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, ma.
Hey.
可以啊，非常好。Anyway, now if we want to copy, we have an array E. Now I want to copy that array for the another purpose. Say for example, I need for data analysis. So if you want to copy the E into F, how to do that? Just define F or any name, then you just equal E. That means F is equal E. That means you are copying the array of E as a F. You can see F is the same like E. Okay, and copy. Now, how to do that? How to do the logical array? How to handle the logical array? Yes. So if you want to use logic, so in that case, we have a sepal width, right? Yeah, this variable, sepal width. Now 1 to 10 rows. First we want to make a NaN because we will use the logic, okay? So now we can make, we made 1 to 10 row as NaN, like as a missing value, okay? Now we will use logic. Sorry. What is the logic? We can use a function is NaN. Like if you have a NaN value or like missing value, like in MATLAB, by default, if you have missing value, MATLAB will recognize as NaN value. That means you have some missing values. Okay. So when you have missing values, you can replace missing values as your like required value or etc. Like sometimes if we need to replace a 0 or etc. Okay, just for analysis purpose or etc. What about if you have the NaN value, missing value, so then you can use the is NaN function. So sepal width, then parenthesis is NaN, sepal width is equal 0. That means is sepal width is the array. Okay. If we have any NaN value or missing value, it will be replaced by 0. Just run and see. Now we replace as 0. Another way we can do, like this is not, okay, not, logical not. We know the not, okay, logical not, and or not. Can you remember in Python we have an and or not? In any programming language, even in NC we have an and or not, okay? So in MATLAB, we can use this sign as a not function. Just up of the tab key, you will find this sign, okay, this symbol. This symbol means the not. Not is, that means not is none. If there is no NaN value, it will make 1. You see? So we don't have missing value. That's why every value change into 1. So we can use logic. We can also make a vectorized array, like first define n is equal sepal length, m is equal sepal width. Okay. Let me run first. Sepal length and sepal width from table Excel. Okay, we can just run this. Amma. Okay, there was something wrong. We can change it, no problem. Or we can Sepal length and sepal width. Irish Excel. One click. From my Excel file, the first all row, first column, right? Second column. All right. So we are using the n is equal sepal length and m is equal sepal width. Okay, two data set. Now we want to make a vectorized array. So what is a vector array? We can use the mesh grid. I'm coming. Now you can see NN 150 to 150. Like if we want to use a vectorized array, sometimes we need to make in a Python class or MATLAB class. I showed you how to make a two-dimension, one-dimension, like you have a let and loan. Okay, let and loan, but in one dimension. But when you want to plot, it should be two-dimension. In that case, we can use a mesh grid, mesh like some wave. Okay, and we make a grid. So we can make two-dimension, the same, like 150 and 150. Then in a two-dimension, you can just plot. So in that way, we can create a vectorized array. Now n was only 150 and m was 150. Now we made it 150 into 50. So this is called the vectorized array. We are just making grid, like mesh grid. Okay. Now when you have finished your analysis or when you have the result, you can export the output. So how do you do that? You can use like Excel write function. Then in the parentheses, you can give the file name. Then you should use the extension .xlx. Okay. Then what is this? Sepal length and sepal. Then we set a sepal length. But if we just want to access the n, because n is the what? Sepal length, right? Yeah. So as this is a length, then we can also export as a text file. When you open as a text file, like export as a text file, you can use a DLM write. Okay, then you can just give the file name and .xt. If you want to save the file, like this is our file, is a MATLAB file, right? You want to save the MATLAB file, and if you want to use for later, you can just use the save function, then sepal with .math. But we just want to open the n, okay, .math. So you can run it, and you should get this file. You see the export sepal length width. We open as a Excel file. So this is the array management in MATLAB. You can learn more. Do you have any question?
Yes, Jalal.
Yeah.
Finish.
Yeah, for tonight.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
dear members, if you have any questions, you can ask now. You are welcome to ask any question regarding what is given as an introduction for today. Hello, everybody. Hello, guys.
Hello, Mr. Samuel. Hey, Mr. Samuel, we can hear you.
Yes, Mr. Yahya Ibrahim. Yeah. Do you have any question?
No, actually, I don't have any question for today.
Okay, my brother.
He's our how Pangyo.
Yeah. Very interested student. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Samuel.
Hello. Hello.
How can I download the source of MATLAB?
Okay. I think Jalal shared already
already shared the
the
link.
YouTube. Yeah. Let me send
Where?
you in the bigger group. I will send it to you. Wait.
Already sent.
Okay.
Let me send it to the IMSA group.
Okay.
So if you don't have
Yeah.
question, we can finish.
I already sent it. Did you find it?
You can also
Let
send in
me
the
see.
chat box here. I already sent in the chat box here. So
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Even
I
in the
found it.
group I send it.
you can send here now.
Yes, I show it.
So I think
Okay.
I should stop the recording, right?